You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now.
The day has arrived. It's time.
Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for those of you who decided to join us here on our broadcast as we're going to be talking some sports tonight. We are going to keep it short and sweet. 1 hour broadcast tonight from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we're going to talk a little bit of the Hawks. We're going to talk NFL playoffs, and we're going to talk not the playoffs, but kind of our picks from last week, who we got this week, and if your team is looking for a coach, who on earth should they pick? We're going to talk about all that and more here on the Real Talk Sports Show. And again, welcome to all those of you who are watching and listening, especially welcome to those new listeners and watchers on LinkedIn Live. Appreciate you so much for joining us. And we're always very thankful for those of you who stay with us on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter. Well, I guess it's now X, and also on Twitch. Remember, please follow us on social media. Anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Please, ma'am, please, sir, if you are not following us yet, please do so. And more importantly, when you go on the YouTube page, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Hit that little bell, bing, so you will get the notifications when we are on the air. Or a lot of times, what I will do, I'll drop those little YouTube shorts with recaps of the game, the halftime, post game, all that kind of stuff. So again, the only way you can get that if you follow us, like I said, on social media. More importantly, when you're on the YouTube page, subscribe because we want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Well, let's go here to social media really quick. But is D-Led coming on? Not tonight. Yeah, D-Led has been working hard behind the scenes trying to figure out what the Falcons are going to do to get themselves a new coach. So he will not be with us. But certainly welcome all those of you to jump right into the broadcast and tell us about kind of what you got cooking and your opinions on some of these topics we're going to get into in just a moment. Well, before we move on, you know what we like to do? We like to have an intro of all of the folks that join us here in the program. And one of the people I know you guys love is the lovely and the beautiful. Matter of fact, she's one of the beautiful women on Sports Talk Radio TV. We call her the Queen. Tree Dolman is back in the building. Ta-da!
Hello, Jonathan. Hi, everybody.
What's up, Tree? Up, boys. Hold on, let me get the close up. Dun, 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 dun. An excited woman again. Once again, she comes on the show and she's able to fully. I mean, she does it anyway. But I'm excited for her that she, week after week now, has been able to represent her boys from Detroit and from Michigan. They're rolling. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about the Lions' 1-point victory over the LA Rams that advanced them now into the Elite Eight. So there it is. Well, wait, see, it didn't take too long. Let's go back to social media. What does it say? What does it say?
I said, Tree, congrats on the big win. They played great. Well coached team win. But I have one issue. What's your issue, Todd? Okay, let's hear this one. He has
Let's
one
get the issue.
issue.
Come on,
What's his
brother.
issue?
He's slow on the typing tonight. He's a little slow on the typing. So
Yeah, okay. I want to hear
he
this
said got one
issue,
issue.
Todd.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for Todd to get himself together, I'm gonna do this quick little oh my gosh, let me go ahead and he put it up there. The cheerleaders look tired.
Cheerleaders
Okay.
look tired.
Lord have mercy.
Todd, can I just say
Come on, bro.
something?
Come on,
I'm
man.
just
Please.
happy that we finally have cheerleaders. Detroit actually didn't have cheerleaders, and we just got them, I want to say maybe like 4 years ago. So to me, they look great. I love their outfits. They look energetic, but you may have seen some that look tired. But I'm just happy that we won the game because that's what counts. And now we have 3 more to go. 3 more to go. One down, 3 more to go.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, so yeah, Detroit knocking on the door. Certainly, they're playing I think this is their first divisional game since like the Barry Sanders era. Do I got that right, or did they play a divisional game after that? I think it's the first time in
So,
like
I
almost 30
mean,
years.
if we're talking about the Super Bowl era, because we have 2 NFL championships,
Oh,
but
no
that
doubt.
was before the Super Bowl era. So once the Super Bowl era came, to my understanding, I know we won. It's been 32 years since we won playoff,
Right.
our first playoff game. So I think this is the furthest we've come, but I would need to double check that.
But the bottom line is we're here. As the Detroit Lions would say, they're in the building. All right, before we talk NFL, give you a quick little recap from last night when it went down at the very end. Because I was working yesterday. And I got to get it straight. Hold on a second. Yesterday was an important day, boys, for 2 reasons. Number one, we got a chance to celebrate the birth of a civil rights legend, Dr. Martin Luther King. And also, we got a chance to celebrate a fella that was
You!
born 30 years to the day later. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Yours truly, that's right. The minister is now officially, guys, a senior citizen. I mean, I'm shocked, but yes, I am now a senior citizen, officially 65 years old. I cannot believe I'm
Wow, you're
here,
65?
65 years old. So I'm
I
officially a
did
senior
not know
citizen.
it.
Yes, ma'am. So now I can get Medicare. I can draw my Social Security and spend my money that I've been putting away for a while. But yeah, definitely thank the Lord for allowing me to reach this age, and also thankful to the Lord that He answered a prayer of mine from my younger days. Back when I was in my 30s and 40s, a lot of time I would see guys in their 50s and 60s. I said, man, them guys get along pretty good. I hope when I get there, I can, still be kind of matriculating fairly well. And praise the Lord, the minister still got a little juice in the tank, baby.
Well,
Amen.
happy birthday, Jonathan. Hope your birthday was super fabulous.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, yeah, it was great. I always do the same thing on my birthday. I always work. Last year was one of the handful of exceptions because my birthday actually fell on a Sunday, so we were closed. But like I say again, we did get a chance to get down to the MLK game and checked it out. And Todd is saying, "Hey, looking 45." Well, I don't know about that, but praise the Lord.
Oh, he said I look 22. Thank you, Todd.
Shoot, that's what I'm talking about. We'll
I'll
take all
take
them
it.
compliments, brother. We'll
I'll
take them
take
all.
it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, Tree. I got a chance to see the young man that everybody been talking about, drafted #1 overall in the NBA, and I can't pronounce his name. Maybe you can help me out. I know it's Wembanyama Yama or something like that. But anyway,
Wembanyama, yeah.
I got to tell you, uh, obviously I've seen Shaq several times at the games, but this guy, I know they list him like at 7'3" or 7'4". He looks like he's about 7'9". I mean, I feel like I was a dwarf next to
Wow.
him. He was just this giant man. And the thing that's amazing is, although like he sometimes looks a little gangly, it's unbelievable what he can do at that height. In terms of passing the ball, shooting the ball, he got a great outside shot. Um, Defensively gave the Hawks all the problems they could want in the second half. Because for those of you who were watching the game, you remember the Hawks rolled up to a stunning 65-34 lead at the half. Hawks up by 35, and then squandered almost all the lead. They were held, I think it was 40 points in the second half. And at one point in the fourth quarter, the Spurs had cut the lead from 35 to 6 points. But Hawks held on, won the game 109-99. Still trying to figure out why this team can't seem to play a full 48 minutes. Sensational first half. Trey balled out. He ended up, I think, with 36 points, 13 assists. I think it was 6 of 8 from the floor from three. Um, Jalen Johnson, this guy is going to be, he's going to be trouble. I mean, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. 4 or 5 blocks, a couple of dunks. Yeah, he's going to be bad man. He's bad man now. But anyway, that's all I want to say. Hawks did win at 109.99. Always big for the Hawks to win the MLK Day. A lot of the guys talked about how important it was for them to win because, the Hawks are kind of the featured game on Martin Luther King Day, obviously being here in Atlanta. So it was a good win for the Hawks, especially after being beat by the Wizards at home by 30 points. Tree, can you believe that? I mean, the Wizards had won 5 games going into that game. I think 4.
Yeah, that was not a good look. So I'm happy that they came back and got the W. It's the W's that count, and we definitely need to just pick it up, not let that happen. It's okay. I mean, we know they're not going to win every game, but you definitely don't want blowouts.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you get these leads. You just got to find a way, to close people out. I would just, like I said, I'm just was stunned at how they continue to not be able to handle these leads. You got to close people out. It's just, that's the only way you can do it. You got to just get these guys out of here and close them out. So hopefully they learn their lesson. Hopefully we'll see some improved play as we go along. Everybody seems to be baffled to why they can't seem to get over the hump, so to speak. But like I said, hopefully and prayerfully, they'll be able to do this, sooner rather than later, because there's talk all over the place about them trading DeJounte Murray, a guy they just got. Yeah. That's the buzz around the league. They're going to trade him, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what are you going to get for him, especially since you gave up 2 first-round picks to get him?
Yeah, I would say that some of the talk that I heard, though, I thought maybe DeJounte wanted to get traded. So
could be. It's not been the smoothest of fits. I don't think that they have really. Maybe coaches have tried, but to me, what I thought they were going to do with DeJounte is to bring him in, and not only to give Trey, obviously some take the pressure off him, especially when they play teams like Miami that pressure him so hard on the ball, but also to get Trey into changing his game just a little bit and to give you more of that kind of motion action that you see from other great 3-point shooters, like, for example, Steph Curry. And when he went out and hung out with Curry, I thought for sure that's what he was going to do. But evidently, that's never come to fruition. And most of the time, although they've had games between the two of them, they score 50 or 60 points, they just have not consistently looked smooth. So I guess that's the story there with that. Hopefully, like I said, again, they can get something for him, because it's a shame that you spent all that draft capital and turn around and trade the guy after, basically about 1 year. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, an early one, because we want to talk football. Forget the Hawks. They're not worth nothing. We want to talk football. We're going to go to the NFL playoffs, and we're going to do a recap. We're also going to do a projection for next week's picks. And for all those of you, because it ain't just the Falcons, a bunch of you guys looking for head coaches and rumored to be looking for head coaches, who do you got? Who do you want? Because there's some interesting coaching candidates out there. All right, guys, keep it locked right here from the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please, and thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
All
Back here, guys, and I'm here with the Queen, Ms. Tree Dolman, and it's time for us to talk NFL football because that is what has been ruling the roost here over these last couple of weekends as we're full swing. We've already had the playing games, and now, well, let's take a look at what happened last week. And I'm gonna flash this eyes up there for you so you can kind of see now where the playoffs have gone to. Let's see if I got my little uh, screen here. Here we go. Somewhere here, and come back here. Here we go. All right, guys, that's it right there. You look at the games here. We had Philadelphia against Tampa Bay. Philly went on the road. To Tampa Bay was at home. We had the LA Rams traveling to Detroit, Michigan. We had the Green Bay Packers traveling to Dallas in the NFC. Over in the AFC, you had the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Houston Texans. Miami had to go into the frigid cold of Kansas City. And likewise, Pittsburgh, although it is cold in Pittsburgh, had to go up the road to Buffalo. It had to delay the game for one game. And Tree, the outcomes were somewhat surprising. First of all, can you believe the upset sprung by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles and actually blew them out 32-9?
I can't believe the upset. I'm shocked that they blew them out. I definitely
Yeah.
did not see that coming. And it just seemed like the Philadelphia Eagles were not prepared to play that football game. But that's part of what I say when it comes to the playoffs. It's an entirely new season. So you can't go off of the past. And Philadelphia just definitely did not look like they were ready to play.
Yeah, they become one of the handful of teams to start off 10-1 and then end up by getting out of the playoffs that quickly. I mean, the team just collapsed in the second half. I mean, I don't think anybody from Detroit is sure exactly. I mean, Detroit in Philadelphia exactly what happened. I mean, this team was rolling. It looked like they were on their way early in the season, to go back to Super Bowl, and then in that second half, they just completely fell apart. Yeah, I'm stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So even though they started the season great, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And you definitely want to pick up that momentum towards the end of the season. That's where it really counts. As long as you can get into the playoffs, and if your team is playing great, you can beat teams on the road. Because if you didn't play well at the beginning of the season, you're most likely not going to have home field advantage. But kudos to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they came out there. I was shocked, honestly, because we all know I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win that game. But Tampa Bay,
Right.
They were ready to play.
Yeah, they balled out, and they were just the opposite of the Eagles. They started off a little shaky. As a matter of fact, have fallen behind the Falcons for the lead in the NFC South. And they came on. I think they won 6 of their last 7 games. Just unbelievable how they came on these last games and did what they had to do. And yeah, got a home game. And see, this is why Falcons fans. I'm not trying to say the Falcons will beat the Eagles or not. This is why Falcons fans flipped out because they knew that they had an opportunity to get into the playoffs and make some noise, and then anyway, like you said, kudos to Tampa Bay. Kudos to Baker Mayfield, a guy who kind of was on the scrap heap. This was a guy that everybody kind of went, and he has come back with a vengeance and really done a great job as a starter for Tampa Bay. So kudos to him. Kudos to Tampa Bay. Okay, what's the other game there? That was a shocker. The Green Bay Packers
Wasn't a
destroyed.
shocker for me.
Uh-oh. Well, yeah. Because matter of fact, I picked Green Bay, but I didn't think they were going to do that.
I picked Green Bay as well.
Right. I mean, I knew that Dallas was suspect because they're always suspect, but I had no clue that they were going to basically lay a complete egg, going down 27-0 at home.
Well,
I mean, Dak Prescott
I was
terrible.
hoping that they lost. I can't say I did not expect them to lose that badly, but I was hoping that they lost. They shouldn't have cheated us. So that was my take on that game. And it was funny because during the game I saw where someone posted where they said, man, the Dallas Cowboys, they're really going to have to play because they're not going to be able to get the refs to cheat this one.
Wow.
But hey, congratulations to the Green Bay Packers. They played great, and I was hoping that they beat the Dallas Cowboys.
They did it. They did what they had to do. Like I said, jumped out to a 27-0 lead, and then basically just kind of coasted in the second half. Final score 48-32, and a dominant performance by Green Bay. Jordan Love making people kind of forget about Aaron Rodgers for a minute. Guy is just like I said again, done some really has looked fantastic. He really has looked really, really good. Um, you know, here in the second half of the season. It's just amazing. He looks like a different guy. He looks like, I guess, the guy that everybody thought he was going to be when they drafted him, to be Rodgers' successor. So, again, kudos to him for getting back on track. And we'll just see now what's going to happen here with the Packers as they have to go on the road and face a very tough San Francisco team. But again, like I told people about playing the Cowboys, the Packers, there's certain teams that they seem to play very well and against postseason. They played well against the 49ers. Like you said, they played well against the Cowboys, showed it yesterday. But I think that the run stops here. I think the 49ers have probably one of the most well-balanced teams in NFL. And being at home, I think the Packers run will stop there, but we'll cement that in the second half. Let's take another look here at the remaining games that were played last week. And I need Tyrone, because didn't he have a list of who we picked?
Yes, that's what I was looking for. He wrote down all of our picks. I wanted to see who
Right.
picked the most wins.
Right. Well, let's stay in the NFC because we need to stop right there. Number 3, Detroit Lions, as I mentioned, won a home playoff game, a squeaker, 24-23 over the LA Rams, and a rude homecoming for my man from out of Georgia, who they traded head up for Jared Goff. Lions said, bro, we appreciate you coming back home, but sorry, you guys are going home with a loss. At any point were you concerned, well, I'm sure you were, that Detroit may not be able to pull it out? Because they won a
No,
close one. She said,
no.
no, I'm
I've
supremely
been
confident.
I've been telling you guys all season that my Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Have I not been saying that since like week 3?
You surely have.
Okay, so no, I was not concerned with Matthew Stafford coming into the den and playing my Detroit Lions. I keep telling everybody that we are ready for every game. We are ready for every team. If you look on my Instagram page, you will see that after every win, except for when we beat my Minnesota Vikings, because I would never cheer against my Vikings as well. I don't post the video then, but I always post the video after our games with the song that we're ready, because we are ready. Doesn't matter who you throw at us. Doesn't matter what you throw at us. The Detroit Lions are ready. This is our year, and I feel that we are going to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. The LA Rams, they're a great team. You see that we pulled out the victory. Doesn't matter if it was by 1 point or not. We won. That's what counts. We're moving on. Now we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers that are coming into the den on Sunday. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that'll be easy, this or that. No, it will not. Just because we beat them at the beginning of the season, as we've discussed, the same teams at the end of the season, and when it comes to the playoffs, that's not the same team that we saw when we went into Tampa Bay and beat them. So, yes, are we going to beat them? Yes, we are, but it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. We have to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and every team that's left their respect.
Let's look at a recap there of the game, Rams and Lions. It was one of the best games over the weekend. Matthew Stafford did not disappoint in his homecoming. 25 of 36, 367 yards and 2 touchdowns. And how about rookie Puka Nacua? In his first postseason appearance, 9 catches, 181 yards, and a touchdown. Outstanding game by him, and also decent game by Kyren Williams on the ground for the Rams. 13 carries, 61 yards. But meanwhile, the Lions, Jared Goff, they were chanting his name when he came in. 22 of 27, just 5 incompletions for Jared Goff. He ran the Lions offense like a well-tuned clock. 277 yards, 1 touchdown, and not a single interception. David Montgomery, 14 for 57 on the ground, about 4 yards a carry. And speaking of guys balling out in the receiving end, Josh Reynolds and, of course, the always mercurial Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions, 110 yards, and Josh Reynolds, 5 receptions, 80 yards. Both guys averaged approximately 16 yards a pop, and that was the difference as Detroit held on to a 24-23 victory and now host their own playoff game. I mean, listen, you got to like them. I mean, you just got to like what they did. You got to like their performance, and they're on the roll. Let's go to social media here. Hey, I think he's from Twitch.
Hey, I'm a Bucks
Hey, how about that?
fan.
He said the
Hi,
Bucks
Bucks
fan.
fan.
What's up on Twitch? Hey, appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. And also want to give a big shout out to those of you first-time watchers on LinkedIn Live. That's right, we're now on LinkedIn Live as well. Appreciate you for joining it on the broadcast. Well, that wraps up the NFC. Let's take a look at the AFC results. Let's take a peek. Let's go back to our magic chart. And hopefully you guys can still see that. Let's try it again. It's a little, but there we go. Yes, on AFC, Houston against Cleveland. Another game I did not think the score would be the way it was. Houston with the rookie C.J. Stroud crushing the Browns and the veteran Joe Flacco. I think the final score is 48-17. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. Make sure I got it right.
I
But
picked the Cleveland Browns to win that game.
Yeah. I picked Houston. Yeah, but again, same thing. I had no idea. I knew the Houston was hot. Had no idea that they were going to put on such a spectacular performance. Final score 45-14. Game was never in doubt. They were up 24-14 at the half, and then really poured it on the third quarter. Scored 2 touchdowns, made it 38-14, and then the rest was history as they added on one late in the fourth quarter. But yeah, just another, just a dominant performance. Let's take a look at the stats here for both teams. Joe Flacco did everything he could do, 34, 46, 307 yards and a touchdown, but unfortunately 2 picks for Joe Flacco, and both of them, I believe, turned into scores for Houston. On the ground, well, that was kind of the big story. Houston was able to bottle up the running attack. Kareem Hunt, 8 carries, but only 26 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger, the rookie C.J. Stroud playing like a veteran, 16 of 21, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, not 1 interception. Devin Singletary helped him out on the ground, 13 for 66, 5 yards a carry and a touchdown. And Nico Collins was his main target, 6 receptions for 93 yards. Yeah, I mean, I'm flabbergasted. I mean, there's no way you could have told me that Houston was going to be this dominant at home over the Browns, and they just lit them up. They just lit them up. And speaking of lit them up, Reverend Johnson had the biggest play of the day, a 76-yard bomb that really kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. So, yeah, big shout out to the Houston Texans. All right, let's go back to the AFC. Miami and Kansas City. Another game where surprises the score. Kansas City handled their business very easily against Miami. Final score 26-7. Shut down a team who had been one of the top 3 offenses in the AFC. Tree, what do you think happened? Was it just the cold weather, or what do you think?
No, I picked Kansas City to win, so I'm not surprised. That was my pick. I figured they would show up, and they did.
But I thought the game was going to be closer, didn't you?
This is the thing. When it comes to the playoffs, I don't always think it's going to be a close game. So
Gotcha.
what happens is, in my opinion, sometimes the beginning of the game, yeah, I think it's close, or, some teams come out. And then right after halftime in the beginning of the third quarter, some teams make adjustments and then some teams don't. So, yeah, you're going to have some blowouts in the playoffs. So I never really think, I think it'll be closer, this and that. At this point, it's an even playing field. Every team, they have different plays that nobody has seen, things that they've been working on since the beginning of the year, and now they can show it out. So you just never know. Some of the games will be blowouts, some of them will be close. But every team at this point, you just never know, any given Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, both teams actually played very well defensively. Miami, stopped several Kansas City drives. And interestingly enough, when the Chiefs went up 10-0 and Tyreek Hill hit that bomb for 53 yards, you're thinking, hey, man, that's it. The funny thing is, after that reception, he only had 9 more yards in receiving yards for the rest of the game. Totally shut down and was totally taken out of the game. And meanwhile, Kansas City, although they couldn't score many touchdowns, they did continue to keep the ball away from Kansas City. Nice drives on the ground. Isaiah Pacheco, 24 carries, 89 yards, only about 3.5 yards a carry, but enough to kind of keep, again, them off the field. Rashee Rice was the big guy for Kansas City, 8 receptions, 130 yards, and actually outshadowing the cheetah, Tyreek Hill, who had 5 receptions, only 62 yards, and really nothing after that big 53-yard bomb. He was totally shut down for the day. So very interesting how that game went. All right, let's go back to the AFC. Our final game, the Buffalo Bills knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that had to be postponed due to snow. Final score up there in Buffalo was 31-17. Big thing was that Buffalo jumped out to a 2-touchdown lead early, and that pretty much was it. I give Pittsburgh credit; they stayed right with it. They actually cut the lead down to 7 late in the game, but too much of Josh Allen, and Bills win 31-17.
Who did you pick to win that game?
I thought I picked the Bills again. I don't have Tyrone, so I can't. I should have wrote them down myself. I mean, I really should have. But
I remember all of my picks. I went 4-2. I picked the Eagles to win, and I picked the Browns to win. Those were my 2 losses, but everybody else I did pick to win. But yeah, I mean, I thought that the Bills would pull it out, and they did.
I did play a great game. Like I said, good game. No disrespect to Pittsburgh. After going down 14-0, looked like it could have got ugly. But they hung in there. They were down 21-7 at the half. But like I said, they hung in there and clawed back and got it to within a touchdown. Got down to 24-17 in the fourth quarter, about 10.5 minutes to go. But Buffalo iced it with a 17-yard touchdown pass with about 6 minutes to go. And even though Pittsburgh got the ball back, they were not able to get in for another score. Josh Allen looked like the guy he looked like 2 years ago. He was electric, had a 52-yard run, 21 of 30, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, another touchdown on the ground. James Cook helped him out, 18 carries for 79 yards. And Dalton Kincaid, 3 receptions, 59 yards, because they kind of shut down Stephon Diggs. But yeah, big Buffalo did what they had to do, and now the tide has turned. Buffalo fans have been waiting for this. Now, for the first time, Kansas City will now have to travel to Buffalo and play their game. So it should be an epic game. With this time, Buffalo has the home field advantage. So it's going to be very, very interesting. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We're going to wrap up. We're talking about a couple of things. Hey, who are picks for next week? And y'all need a coach. Who are you going to get? I'm just curious. Let me know. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions, or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports. Ha ha.
And we're back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. And right next to me is the lovely Queen Tree Dolman. Let's jump back to social media. We've got comments buzzing, buzzing, and buzzing. Oh, look who's back. Oh,
Sullivan
man.
Sullivan. He said, "Oh, Chucky Ducky, you know what time it is. We've been missing you, Sullivan Sullivan."
Right. Well, look what he says. He says, I'm
I'm
back.
back. Tree, yay!
That's what I'm talking about. And he says, oh, shucky ducky.
Oh, Shucky Ducky, it's that time again. Yes, it is, Sullivan Sullivan.
Hey, you're getting some love, Tree, from yeah, I believe
Wade
a first
Turner.
time guy, Wade
Kudos to
Turner.
the Motor City. Go Lions. If the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, will Mrs. Tree be going to support her hometown Lions? Yes, Wade, yes. You could bet that one, Lord willing, right? But
Right.
yes.
Speaking of Super Bowl, guys, we are planning to be there in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to let you guys know. We're going to put this out here. If you guys want to be a part of our Super Bowl coverage, we actually have some advertising spots that we're going to put up there. We're looking to be doing a daily broadcast through WIGO 1570, also doing some stuff on social media. So hit us up here. Let me put it up on the screen. If you want to feel like you're at the Super Bowl, you can come along with us. Here's how you hit me up, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or you can send me an email send me an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or hit me up on the cell 678-410-9833. Got some really cool advertising packages. You can sponsor some of the coverages. We're looking to cover these main events. The prayer breakfast on Saturday morning. We're looking forward to covering the Soulful Celebration. Looking forward to cover the NFL, Taste of the NFL. And hopefully we'll be there to cover the fashion show for the off the field NFL Wives. So those are our big events, and you guys can help us, and you can be right there because we're going to be doing live and tape broadcasts. All right, let's go back to social media.
Sullivan said, no, the Lions won't. Sullivan, listen, can I just say something? Didn't you say the same thing when I was talking about my Michigan Wolverines being national champions this year? Do you remember that conversation weeks and weeks and weeks ago where I was telling you and Todd that my Michigan Wolverines were going to be the national champions? And remember, you both said they won't get past Georgia. They won't get past Alabama. Do you remember that, Sullivan? We played Alabama. We won. We actually got your coach to quit. And we won the national championship. We won the Natty. So don't say, he said nope. Don't say that my Lions will not be in the Super Bowl. I have been saying it. You guys will see that I'm right. And I remember, Jonathan, come back on the screen with me, because I remember your face when I said it. Do you remember your face, the way you looked at me, Jonathan, when I said my Lions were going to the Super Bowl?
I look like this.
Yeah, you and you even said like, oh, wait, Tree. I know your team is doing good, but don't get ahead of yourself. You remember all that? Yes, trust me.
Yes, I do. Because listen, at the end of the day, I am pleasantly surprised for your sake that Detroit has balled out. I mean, I thought that they were going to listen. I thought they'd win 10, 11 games, but they have balled out, and they are now one of the dominant teams in the NFL. They're just a well-balanced team. Your coach is, after guys kind of teased him about being over the top, he's got a team that the guys love him. He loves them, and that's it. Oh my gosh! So look what Sully's saying. We got robbed talking about Georgia.
Y'all got robbed.
Talking about Georgia going to the playoffs. Oh my gosh, buddy boy. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to tell people. I mean, Michigan passed the eye test. Nobody was beating the Wolverines this year. Nobody. Georgia, Alabama gave it a run for the money, but yeah, nobody was beating them. Nobody.
And like I said, we was ready for Georgia. We wanted Georgia.
Yes, we wanted you guys.
I'm just
saying.
Still talking. UGA can. Hey, there's always next year, but what you guys will constantly hear me saying for an entire year is that the Michigan Wolverines are the national champions. Just how y'all kept telling me, well, Georgia's the national champions. I kept saying, you're right. And you guys, you repeated. You did it 2 years in a row, which was tough to do. We wouldn't have lost against Georgia. Please. So this is the thing, Sullivan. This is the funny part, right? It's easy to say woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? You guys couldn't beat Alabama, right? So had you guys beat Alabama, we wouldn't have to have this conversation because Michigan would have played Georgia, and then you would know that Michigan would have beat Georgia, and we still would be national champions. It didn't matter if we played Georgia. It didn't matter if we played Alabama. But again, we wanted you. We wanted you guys. Like I've been saying, we want Georgia. Georgia wasn't up for the challenge this year, but that's okay. There's always next year. But either way, I got you going. Either way, the Michigan Wolverines are the national champions, and that's all I'm gonna say. We're the reigning champs. We're the best team in the country. So you guys, I'm sure you guys will get sick of hearing me say that for a whole year, because trust me, I will constantly say it because I get tired of everybody saying, "Oh, the Big Ten can't hang with the SEC. Oh, the Big Ten, whatever. Big Ten are national champions, and we beat the SEC to get there." Okay, on to the next.
All right, Sully's asking a big question. Right, I don't blame you. Sully's asking the question. We're right. Sully's like, when are we going to have our big lunch and viewing? He says, still waiting at
Still waiting in Village Burger Johns Creek. So I need to ask Tyrone his schedule and Jonathan your schedule, but I will tell you that definitely at the very latest by the end of February, but I'm planning and hoping it to be way sooner than that. But let me check with everybody's schedule. And then also, what's the best day to come? Is a weekend good or during the week? You tell us, Sullivan, because we want to be there when you're there, of course.
Right. For me, I got two options. My days off, they flip flop. So I got Wednesday off one week, I have Saturday off the other week, and of course, obviously Sunday I'm off every week. So any of those days, he just says let's go. So I guess he's saying it's pretty open on the time. But I would think probably the weekend. Hold on a second. Here we go. He said, "Oh, here we go."
Whatever's good for y'all. Okay, well, we'll see, because Sundays are always great for me. I don't do any business on Sunday. It's the Lord's Sabbath. And so after church, I'm always able to go get something to eat. And then I'll check with Tyrone and see his schedule. But yeah, okay. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, it's going to have to be in February because I'm doing the Daniel fast with my church.
Oh,
and
right.
We don't break fast until January the 29th. So all I can eat are vegetables and fruit until the 29th. The 29th, I break fast. So it will definitely have to be after January 29th or either on the 29th that I can come.
Well, maybe might be able to do on the 20th. What is that, Saturday? Well, I think, that's
29th. I think the 29th is a Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday? All right, we'll figure it out.
Let me look and see. 29th is a Monday.
Gotta be a Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, right. Yep. Well, we'll get there. Sully, we have not forgotten you. Some way we'll get there. Yeah. We're gonna talk about those Falcons after the break, just a little bit. But the main thing we want to talk about is really this whole coaching carousel, because it's absolutely crazy. All these teams even teams that have coaches, are thinking about, should we get somebody else in there? So, matter of fact, that's a perfect time. We're going to take a break. Let's get into that. What do you guys think? Is your team looking for a coach? And if so, who do you think they should get? You're watching the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Hey, sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. We want to get your feedback about my participations in the show, so please leave comments. So stay tuned.
Back there, we're always still dabbling with AI. At one point, I could get her fixed so she pronounces the Real Talk Sports Show real and not real. We're going to get that fixed. But that's a little AI. Hopefully, you're going to see more of that as we go forward. I think it's kind of cool how that works. You basically just type in a script and You pick a presenter and voila, you go ahead and you got a commercial. So like I said, hopefully we'll be able to do more of that going forward. And really would like to get your guys' feedback to what you think about the whole AI thing. Because you're gonna start to see, I think, in sports, you're gonna start to see, teams use that to game plan, all kind of stuff. So very interested to get your feedback. Let me know what you think. All right, the coaching carousel tree. We got coaches openings everywhere. Um, I guess first of all, let's look at some of the teams that are searching for coaches. So let's go ahead and look at the openings. Let's see here. Let's go here to see all the teams that we have here. And wow, I just lost my screen. My screen went bloop, 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 bloop. I don't know what happened, Tree. Something. Okay, let's go back here. I think we got it. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at some of the teams who are looking for head coaches. Whether it's out there where they fired a coach already or a situation where they are thinking that they might want to add a coach. Okay, so we have the Carolina Panthers, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, we have the New England, well, New England already has their coach already, the Tennessee Titans, and of course our own Atlanta Falcons. Um, Oh, and the Seattle Seahawks. I forgot about that. So again, Seahawks, Falcons. Let me do it the right way. Let's do it alphabetically or close to that. Falcons, Seahawks, and Washington Commanders. We also have looking for a head coach, the Carolina Panthers, the Tennessee Titans, and also the Raiders. Even though they have technically an interim coach, they're also looking for a coach as well. So those are teams that are looking for coaches along with the Los Angeles Chargers. Tree, look at these teams. Who do you think? Let's look at the Chargers first. Who do you think would be a good fit to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers out there in LA/San Diego?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She said, I don't care about them dudes. All right. I'll give a little Chargers. Well, the rumor is that your guy is someone that they're actively trying to get to come out there
Yeah, that's all.
to the West Coast. So we might want to put a little peg next to Jim Harbaugh as being a possible candidate, and right now the favorite to go out to the Chargers. So
I
we shall
think they
see.
interviewed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they have. Yep.
Mhm.
The Raiders are kind of strange. I mean, their head coach now apparently is beloved by all the players. Not sure why they think that they might need a new coach. Interestingly enough, they have allowed him to interview with the Atlanta Falcons. Antonio Pierce has interviewed with the Falcons. They got permission to do so. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to stay with the Raiders or move on. Another team that is looking for a head coach, the Tennessee Titans. Kind of strange that they would fire a coach that actually got to the playoffs a couple of times. Kind of weird. Tennessee Titans. Who do you think might be a good fit over there, Tree? Any thoughts on the Titans?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't care about
I
them
could
either.
tell you with the Falcons, I don't really watch the Titans and all those other teams. I watch our Falcons, I watch the Lions, the Vikings.
Well, let's get to it. Let's not waste no more time. Our man Sully, he says, first of all, what's he saying? How about them Falcons, right?
How about them Atlanta Falcons?
Atlanta Falcons. And he said, did you hear? Doom, 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 doom.
Did we hear what, Sully? My gut feeling says Bill Belichick is going to be with us as head coach. Well, they said they interviewed him.
They did. Yeah, the Falcons interviewed him, and they've also interviewed, I think so far, 5 or 6 different candidates. 4 of them African American. And interestingly, they say another guy who might be a favorite is a guy that's already coached here before, Raheem Morris. He was the interim coach when Dan Quinn was there. He also was our defensive coordinator at one point. He also was a quarterback coach. I like the guy. He seemed to do well as that kind of quarterback coordinator when Matt was still here. I think he's a guy that's kind of calm. Players seem to like him because he played the game, was outstanding defensive back for Tampa Bay for a while. So I wouldn't mind him. I see the whole Bill Belichick thing. The thing about Belichick is that, and this is the new senior talking, at 72, I don't know, you can bring him in and maybe build the team for a couple of years. I mean, I'm not I'm just not sure if he's the right guy for the Falcons. But here's the bottom line. I know what Blanken's thinking. I've tried assistant coaches, and I want to get a guy in here that's a proven winner. And even though obviously New England has fallen off the last couple of years, I mean, what can you say about a guy who's considered the GOAT with coaches? I mean,
Not considered, he is.
yeah, I guess he is. Yeah, he surpassed
If you look
Lombardi.
at the numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
So,
You're surely
so
right.
why would you not want to hire, even though the last few years his record hasn't been the greatest, but of course he could argue that it was the team that he had. But why would you not want to bring in the best coach that's coaching in the game right now?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this. One of the things that we have a nasty habit of doing here in Atlanta is oftentimes we do style over substance. And, Bill Belichick, from a media point of view, not the most user-friendly guy around, can be pretty snarky, but at the end of the day, the guy wins. And it's just going to be the big question is how he would fit because really what he's kind of slid off is that his ability as a GM has really kind of tailed off these last couple of years. His picks have been terrible. Nothing's really panned out. So I guess that's maybe the discussion is okay, if he does come here, are they going to let him run the whole thing? Or are they going to keep Terry Fontenot in, a young, kind of unproven GM? So a lot of questions if you bring in Bill Belichick. How are you going to bring him in? Are you going to bring him in and run the whole show or what? Now, Sullivan is saying after that, he said, okay, how about the Michigan's head coach?
Well, honestly, so with Michigan's head coach, I keep going back and forth with if he's staying at Michigan or if he's leaving. We know that J.J. McCarthy has declared that he's going to the NFL, so our quarterback is gone. We lost some other people. I still think we're going to be great, but yep. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. And then I've also heard talks that he was talking with Michigan that if he does sign, because they're trying to make him the highest paid college coach in the history of the game.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's putting in the contract or putting an addendum in there where if he does sign, that the Michigan Wolverines can't fire him. So the contract will have to play out and they can't fire him. So we'll see if Michigan wants him that bad. But if he's getting everything that he's asking for from Michigan, I believe that he will stay. Because if you were really thinking about leaving and going to the NFL, why would you want to put that in and see if they would do that? So I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, I think that if he does go to the NFL, I think he'll be a great coach. I can see him being a great coach at that level. I also think that he loves the black jerseys. Which team has the black jerseys? The Falcons, the Raiders.
Raiders, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's another team that a lot of people think he might go to. Look, at the end of the day, I mean, Jim, the thing about Harbaugh, he's a proven commodity. I mean, he's proven. First of all, he's now won the national championship in college. Michigan brought them back to prominence. We know he can win in the NFL because he got the 49ers to the title game, and he basically was the key ingredient to make Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback that he was. So we know this guy can coach. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if he comes to the NFL, I think he's going to do what he needs to do. But looking at him after that Michigan game, I mean, just with other Michigan alum, all the photos of all the great Michigan guys that played both basketball and football. I mean, like I saw him and Chris Webber, and I just put in the comments, Michigan men, because that's what they look like. They look like, hey, we Michigan guys. So I think that he may not be going. As far as the Falcons, it's a toss-up for me. I mean, the idea of, like you said, having the best coach in the game ever to come here and to put his stamp, because wherever Bill goes, he's trying to get the narrative away from he might be the GOAT, but it's because he had to go that quarterback. That's what a lot of people saying now. People saying the guy really has not won since he had Tom Brady. So if he could come here to Atlanta and be able to get this franchise who has come close but always seemed to, and usually it's because of what? Poor coaching decisions. Yeah, I think he's very tempted to come here. At the end of the day, like I said again, whether he's Grumpy Bill or not, he wins.
Yeah, at the same token, Tom Brady wouldn't be the quarterback that he was had he not been coached by Bill Belichick. So I'm pretty sure that the Falcons are going to get another quarterback. You can tell from this season
Oh,
that
yeah.
they weren't sure what quarterback, and they've switched the quarterbacks out so many times. So common sense is that we need to go get a quarterback. And if Bill Belichick comes, he can help and assist with who he sees or whatnot. But either way, I can see pros of him coming here. I can also see some cons. I think mainly pros just because of his history. And again, if you can get the best coach in the game, why not, right? But at the same token, we know how the city of Atlanta is. We know how the fans of Atlanta are. And then we also know that we want to fill the seats. We want to get the Mercedes-Benz Arena popping and loud and crazy like the Dome used to be. And sometimes it does get very loud in there, but I still have not seen that same atmosphere that I've seen in the Dome. It's getting closer. But I think that we do need some key pieces of players and coaches who will actually feel the excitement of the Atlanta fans and bring them to where everybody, I mean, when I first moved here, everybody I was talking to, it didn't matter where I was, everybody was season ticket holders.
Yep.
You don't hear that many. Yes, there's a lot of season ticket holders, but most people go to the games, but a lot of them aren't season ticket holders. So we need that person, that the players and the coaches that are really going to ignite the fans and get the fans to come back and support the Atlanta Falcons. But I do think that Bill Belichick can be that person. He is the greatest coach in the game right now. You can't dispute that. Yes, he hasn't been that great in the past few years, but I still think he has a lot of greatness left in him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that, I mean, Bill Belichick, whether you like him or don't like him, he's going to bring a buzz to Atlanta. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to come, just like Muhammad Ali. A lot of people came to see him fail, but a lot of people also came to see him win. And there's no question that Atlanta fans will say in their minds, okay, regardless of how old he is, we now got a coach that's a legitimate coach, a guy that knows how to win, doesn't think how to win, but knows how to win, has done it time and time and time again. So as much as, like I said, again, he's a little older, a lot older, but I mean, how can you say anything against a guy that's won that much and a guy that's been willing to take chances, even at the quarterback position? Keep in mind, folks, this is a guy that called Cam Newton and brought him into New England and tried to get Cam to play for him. I mean, it didn't work out because I don't think they had all the weapons they needed. But the bottom line is, Bill Belichick's opinion of Cam Newton, he said, look, the guy did everything we asked him to do, and he was a great guy. So I'm thinking, if he thought about that, what about bringing back the hometown hero? What about Justin Fields? How could he
Oh,
operate under?
Justin. I thought you were talking about somebody else, but
No.
Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields would do great here.
Oh, yeah, I think he would just, I mean, especially if Bill got the right offensive coordinator, yeah, he would be, yeah.
Justin
Yeah, I
Fields
just,
is a great quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. Just the
yep,
things that I see from him, and I've thought that his rookie season, he just didn't have protection. You have to have
really did.
protection, and he does great things. I really think that he's going to be one of the best in the game by the time that his career continues. But I see great things out of Justin Fields, and I think it would be great if he did come to Atlanta. I think Bill Belichick would be the only person that can bring him here, because outside of that, I don't think that the Falcons would try to go get him. They already passed up on him once, and we see how that went. So
Yeah,
who
big
knows?
mistake. I mean, but it would be so cool if he could come back here, a hometown guy, and I think it would electrify the fans.
Oh, he
And
would.
I think that Bill Belichick with the right offensive coordinator would have this clicking, because we have all the ingredients of what he could mold. We got a good offensive line that could be better. We got obviously an outstanding running attack, and we already know that Bill knows how to coach defense. That's what he does. So yeah, I
He
think
does. But I
as
think
much
we
as,
need an OC. Okay,
oh, no doubt about that.
we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
no
head
doubt about
coach.
that.
I think we need an OC, and I think we need
Right.
a DC. So I get tired when it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Like, come
No,
on. The team
no.
has positions. Bring in the professionals that know what they're doing. That way you can focus on what you need to focus on. It's just like, to me, that's just a big problem. You're asking the 11 guys on the field to trust your teammates so that they do their job and you do your job, right? That's part of the game. It's the same thing with the coaches. trust that they're going to do their job. You do your job. Now, yes, as the head coach, you get the final say and you get to, make a lot of the decisions that override people, but still make sure you have the people in position that you have the positions for, and stop trying to do so many things. When they were successful, they had an OC, they had a DC.
Well, listen,
So
right, and they had a DC. They had Romeo Cornell, and they had what's the head coach from from Houston, and he left. Bill, he was Bill also. Bill O'Brien. And there were times with him and even Tom Brady would butt heads, but the bottom line was he had outstanding special teams. He modeled his teams after the way Bill Parcells coached. And Bill Parcells had him, and he had the guy who ended up beating him with the Giants, Tom Coughlin. Those guys were the OC and DCs at the Giants under Bill Parcells. That's how you do it. Great coach brings other great coaches in and lets them do what they need to do. Speaking of do what we need to do, we need to let people know how they find out more about you as we wrap it up here. So, guys, you know how we do it. We always let you know how you can find out more about our co-host or guests. So, Ms. Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Go Lions, one pride. You can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022. Thanks for watching.
Queen has spoken. There I go. Now I'm back. There we go. I always knock myself out of the screen. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, guys, hey, gotta wrap it up. You know, I am actually a real live minister, so I'm going to tell you, please, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Why? He loves you immensely. Matter of fact, nobody loves you like Jesus. Not your mom, not your grandma, not your auntie and them, because he did something unbelievable. He came here, fully God, and fully man, and died for your sins. But he rose from the dead. So here's the cool thing. If you repent of your sins and believe that, two great things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything you need or desire, and he'll give it to you according to his will. And number two, when you die, you go to that beautiful, spectacular place called heaven. No pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. You never get old. You never die. The city is illuminated with the glory of God, so it never gets dark. Every building is decorated the most beautiful jewels ever created. Streets paved with a gold that's so pure it's translucent. And the big thing, you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the people, evilest people you can think of. Plus, Satan himself and all the demons are going to be there. It's dark, it's dreary, it's painful, it's fiery. And most of all, you cut off from God, Jesus Christ, and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, instead of saying so long, we're just going to say as we always do. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long, and God bless.
Bye.